of the Pianola Plus product. The Pianola team has given everybody at Berwick an extended trial of this product. I just thought I'd show you how I might use it to examine my performance over sessions. I've logged into Pianola, as you can see, and I don't seem to have any results to display. That's because I haven't played at the club for the last over the summer. So let's change the date by clicking on the tape here, and I'll choose the last 12 months and apply that. And what we see on the screen is that I've played once with Marion. We scored 48%. I've actually played more than that, but let's change it to imps. I haven't played any imps in that time. This will change over the new year, over the new season, because we're going to be playing a lot more cross imps, and because the team events are going to be scored in imps rather than victory points. But if I go to victory points, then we'll see more information, because I have played in that over the last year. If you don't have Pianola Plus, then all you see on your results history is these blue dots that just tell you what you scored, and if you click on these, then that'll take you directly to the scores. With Pianola Plus, you get a bar chart in yellow which shows what your card play is like, and a red line which reflects your bidding accuracy. So what I'm going to do is look at one session, this one here, the last time I played in the Scott Cup. I played with Helen, we had a good game, we won, so if I click on that, we'll be taken to the results page. And you can see that we were first equal, so a good team performance, and you can look at the travellers, the scorecards that we had, so this is Helen and my scorecard, in the normal way. What you get with Pianola Plus is this session report. So this tells us what happened on all of the hands. It says we underbid on 8 hands, not great. We failed to double on one hand. Well, that depends on how close the double was, whether that was good or bad. We overbid 3 times, that happens quite a lot, and we bid correctly on 8 hands. And in our card play we made 6 tricks more than we were expected to. Now the important thing to realise is that this summary is based on double dummy reports. So if you look at the sheet at the end of the day, at the end of the session, you'll see how many tricks you could have made if you knew all 4 hands. So this is very much just a guide. No one wants you to bid slams that were only about 25%, so required 2 sessions. But Pianola Plus will say, well, you missed the opportunity to bid a slam and you underbid, even though there was a very small chance you'd ever make it. So bidding accuracy, there are 2 charts here, one that shows us what we actually did relative to double dummy. So this is the one that's headed you and Helen, and you can see double dummy wise we bid a fair number of hands, we underbid basically the same number, and we overbid 3. The pie chart on the right shows how the leading players in the field did, so people in the top third of the results, and you can see they bid more accurately than us according to double dummy, and they didn't underbid as much. So what you can do is compare over time how you're doing relative to these. And one thing I've noticed looking at a number of our results is that Helen and I underbid more than the field. Personally, I think this is mainly because of the accuracy of the underbidding algorithm rather than the fact we underbid. Card play. This shows how you did double dummy as if you could see all of the hands. And you can see here that Helen and I make the right number of tricks more times than most of the other good players, and we make over tricks more of the time. And this is something that I've seen throughout all of our results using Pianola Plus, is that we consistently make more tricks when we're playing the hands, and when we're defending than the rest of the top fields, and this is why we tend to score better. It's more because of our card play than because of the auctions and the final contracts that we play. So there's another way of summarizing that information, and then you can see board by board what happened, whether you underbid, whether you overbid, and then you can go into these boards and examine them. So this hand here, board 7, it says we underbid, so let's have a look. It also says we made one trick more in defense than was expected. So let's go into this hand and just examine why we underbid this. So this is board 7. We can see all of the results. And the diagnosis is that we let our opponents play in a makeable contract. Well, we let them play in 3 spades. They can actually make 4. But what Pianola wants us to do is to bid 5 clubs, get doubled, go down 2 tricks and lose 500, instead of losing 620 in 4 spades. But as we managed to make our opponents, who were actually Jean and Reg on this occasion, stop in 3 spades, we've done a lot better than that. We've only conceded 140 when Pianola wants us to concede 500. So we have underbid, but it's a bit of a false underbid because we've done a lot better than we were expected to on the hand. So I'm not worried about this. If we go back to the session report, board 2, we failed to double. Well, this is true. The opponents could only make 3 hearts and they were in 4, but there was little to be gained by doubling on this occasion. It's not a contract that you're going to double. We can't see that they're going to, that spades are 2-2 and they have a spade loser, a heart loser, a club loser, and because partner's got Jack 9 of hearts, North doesn't know his 10 of hearts is a trick as well. So that was, we did fail to double, but it would be too close to bid it. So if we look at another underbid, board 20, we seem to have missed a slam. We failed to bid it. So did everybody else. Slam is not good. You've got a spade loser, you look at the hand on the right, and you need the heart finesse to work, and you need the club finesse to work. Not good odds. So that's a slam you don't want to be in, even though double dummy you can make it. So that's an underbid I'm not worried about. So actually our performance wasn't quite as bad as perhaps it was said. There's another hand here, it says we underbid, board 4. Well, we didn't really underbid, it is imp scoring. We could have been in no trumps and scored a little more. So another underbid I'm not that worried about. We did win 10 imps on the board when our opponents didn't bid gain, so even though we got a good score, Pianola still tells us we could have done better. Which is true, but it wasn't required. Another underbid was board 5. I'm guessing we could have been in 6 no trumps. But again, if you look at the heart suit where you've got Jack to 4 opposite Ace to 4, you don't want to be in a Grand Slam for that, or you don't want to be in any slam for that. And indeed the 2 pairs who did bid slam, one went 1 down and one went 4 down. So it's, you're safer in game, which is where we were. So you have to take all of the results with a pinch of salt. But it does provide you, I think, with an interesting synopsis of what is happening, and I think these summaries will be interesting for a lot of people to see how you're doing with the top players at the club. Could be one of the founders of Pianola said it was quite clear that they were underbidding significantly in part scores, and by going through the bidding accuracy and then looking at the boards, they could see that they were doing far worse than the top player of the club, and they needed to be a bit more aggressive. So the trial from Pianola is running through Christmas. It's completely free, you don't need to do anything, you just need to use your Pianola account, log in, and it's there all automatically as soon as the results for any session are published. I hope you find it useful. If you've got any questions, then please don't hesitate to give me a call.